This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Old folks should tell us things they used to do. Tell us how they used to groove and ding. Do the sounds of Rick and Script. They say our generation lost our
Talking Heads with my Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
We're going down with all them songs then. I still just want to jump around and sing songs by ancient modern things. Some of the greatest stories ever told was on a Rick and Scrape. No, some was told by Gino D. I grew up on Kid, I grew up on Ronnie, I grew up on I, grew up on Elon Moxie. Really hope that you don't feel, hope you don't feel cause I play R&B and thing. I don't need my Rick and Scrape. I hope that y'all don't think I let it go. Hope you don't think cause I make rock music and ting, but I don't let TBS play, that I won't play no Smokey Double O. My old mind will tell me how it used to be, how they would get jiggy and ting, to the sound of Rick and Scrape. Whoa. Feel like my generation ease up on this thing, like we ain't grew up on
You've got it locked and loaded. The Tuesday, July 7th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. It is Tuesday. Short week, one day closer to the Independence Holiday weekend. Like I say, Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. MJ, what's good?
It's all good. It's hot, but it's all good.
Well, it's hot everywhere, but it's a different kind of heat. It's one of them fine new orifices on your body with sweat kind of heat. You know that kind of way?
Well, I haven't tried that, but I'll take your word for it.
And by the way, BPL is not helping the situation. And we will deal with that in the second hour, all right? And it's not the hard-working line staff of BPL, and it's not the middle management. It's that upper echelon and a particular minister. And have you noticed, well, like some people have the Midas touch? Kobe Davis got what I call the Manoa touch. Look at housing. Piss poor job there. Transport. We got issues with road traffic. We got issues with tax. And now you look at BPL.
Well, minister,
at least she sucks consistently. Like every department they put her in, she's lousy. So
well,
at least her consistency must be applauded.
I would not agree with that. But definitely, Minister Kobe Davis does have some, she has a lot of questions that she needs to answer for the Bahamian public. Now, I understand that there will be a press briefing. I think this is the OPM's weekly press briefing, and I expect that the minister will speak then and give us some more.
Think she'll have a better attitude with the media when she addresses the media, or is she still going to have that flippant, immature, sophomore,
put it like
childish
this.
attitude?
We don't expect her to break off running this time. We do expect to get some answers and a better understanding of what exactly is going on with BPL. I know that we've heard from the CEO of BPL, and we take all of that in. But yeah, the political leadership now needs to really step up.
And I kind of got a little sense of her throwing the upper management of BPL under the bus a little bit.
I don't think so, I mean, I did not get that sense. I just feel as though the responses that we've gotten so far are just lacking, We were told that
this is like
this was going to be a great summer, we would not see these kind of outages. We were told that 90% almost complete. The grid upgrades were almost complete. We were told that Pike did most of their work, and so the fact that they're no longer here is inconsequential, more or less. But we still see major. I'm going to give the minister an opportunity. Go ahead.
Garbage.
I'm going to give the minister an opportunity to explain to us exactly what's happening. And I hope that, that the press briefing asks questions. And I hope that, we get answers not only on what's happening and why we're experiencing these repeated, long, sustained power outages, but like what's really happening in terms of the upgrades. We got some information this week based on the assessment that ERCA did around prices and debt. There are just so many questions surrounding BPL, which is a national asset owned by the Bahamian people. And I just don't think it's been handled in a way that shows respect for us, not only as the taxpayers and owners of that asset, but as customers to this particular corporation. So I'm hoping that when she speaks on Thursday, that we get
some other questions answered too.
Yeah, more
about some development companies and some stuff in Carmichael as well too. We need to know answers about all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
but I'm part of this. Diplomacy is such a serious thing. I mean, you are so much of a diplomat than me. I say full blaze, full blast. Kobe Davis, performance as a minister wherever they put her has been horrible. Has been piss poor. It sucked.
I think.
But you come with words to say the same thing, but lacking. No.
I'm waiting for a response. I don't care who it is. If I could see pure incompetence, then for sure I am going to call that out, because I have a problem with incompetent people leading us down a road where
we've had far too much of that over the 53 years,
where we ultimately suffer. But I think a part of this is just the general posture of this administration and the last administration to not be forthcoming and upright and upfront with the Bahamian people. They've developed this habit of not answering pertinent questions in a timely manner, and it's carrying on. But now we see that it's gotten to a point where Bahamians are absolutely sickened by it, because our lip fluff and the everything is fine here attitude that we often hear from them.
So we would definitely have that. And we'll talk more about those issues and other issues coming up as well in the 5 o'clock. But right now, we do have to pivot to our special guest, no stranger to the show. And obviously, we have lots to talk about, because there's more in this conversation to be had. I'm talking about my good friend, longtime friend, Mr. Eric Carey, former Bahamas National Trust Executive Director and the CEO of One Consultants, no stranger to the show. Eric, how art thou? What's going on, Biggie?
Good afternoon, MJ.
Hi.
I see Naughty. I believe Naughty probably his fridge was off and his grouper probably spoiled. So like he vexed. But anyhow,
yeah, very vexed.
Like you say, we deal with that.
Well, it wasn't grouper, Eric. It was hog snapper. If you got it.
Oh Lord.
So I really pissed off now.
But thank you again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. You do address the issues that need to be spoken about in an unbiased and fearless manner. And so I like to come and talk to you about what we're dealing with down in Samson Key. Last time we spoke, I don't remember what the focus was. And actually, I told you.
Last time we spoke, Eric, just for context sake, the last time we spoke, we were doubling down on the fact that, it was before the courts. There were some injunctions, and the Integral Group could not just proceed blindly. And if they did, they'd have to stick to the portion with no dredging, because dredging brings the most impact to what we got going on. And then, of course, we have them now today, from what I'm hearing, very, flippantly moving on with said project. I'm looking at pictures right now. It's got me scratching my head.
Yeah, Integra basically said in a recent social media post, it's protecting the environment with quote-unquote care and attention to detail. We're installing a special underwater curtains to contain sediment.
If I may interject, one quick question, Eric. I am looking at video right now.
Exactly.
And there is a bulldozer on the frickin' shoreline.
Different story, right?
Different story. You talking one thing, but the video is showing total disregard for what's going on.
Absolutely. I mean, you see silts, muddy, thick silt pouring out into coral reefs and smothering seagrass beds, etc., out into open water, into that pristine cut, right? That is what the curtains are supposed to stop. But obviously, they think that, you throw up some curtain, they don't have to be effective, but maybe depth and it's up, all is fine. However, this is a project that my client is obviously very carefully watching, because we're in Hillgrass Resort, which is next door, fully sustainable, fully on solar, low impact, etc. carefully applying the sustainable development principles, absolutely no dredging because the area is so sensitive. And then these guys turn up and you see all these sediment clouds escaping, blocking sunlight, etc. So the questions to your listeners would be simple if they saw these videos. Does that look like care and attention to you? Right? Additionally, there was an injunction from the court and a stay from the Planning Appeal Board preventing them from doing any development. They're supposed to be doing only geotechnical studies. So what they're doing, trying to fool you, me, us, and probably DEP, saying we're doing geotechnical studies. You take a machine and you drill some spot holes, basically, to test, what the substrate is like, to see what do these cores, to see where you may want to put down certain buildings, etc. That ain't bulldozing and destroying the coastline, right? So what they appear to be doing is using the fact that they do have permission to do which is a geotechnical survey, to actually start this careless, unsustainable, destructive development. And so our legal team, the client's legal team, has already spoken to the courts about this to try and stop what we think is an abuse of their permissions to do geotechnical surveys and actually masking this attempt to start destructive development under the guise of a geotechnical survey, So that's totally unacceptable.
I'm looking too, Eric, at the fact that, you talked about the curtain, and there was a lot of noise, not noise, but mentioned by Integral. We put out curtains and so on and so forth. I'm looking at these pictures, and there is nothing that makes me say this is going to get done properly. I'm looking at it and saying there is going to be damage impending. There's going to be impending damage coming. I'm just looking at the videos.
So, so the question to anybody of sound mind and common sense is, if these dudes starting out with this type of destruction, this type of total disregard for our environmental regulations, total disregard for our environment, we supposed to trust them that they can do the right thing when they go really start dredging and building 100 and something buildings on a tiny island.
And that's my concern, because this is proven that with his former partners up there at KFK, who he's no longer affiliated with, correct? Because he couldn't get it. He couldn't get the density portion down. This situation does not speak to density. This screams that this is going to be a huge resort. It's going to be volume. It's going to be way bigger than anticipated.
This developer, he has no development experience. He used to grow weed somewhere on a farm in the U.S. He has failed financial hedge fund type things. No successful development ever in the Bahamas. The one that was approved and announced as a $500 million development to save the Central Exumas, which was at Cave Key. He did nothing at Cave Key, and as you just referenced, eventually he got kicked out of the deal. And the first thing that his the new owners, the new controllers did after they kicked McLean out is they scaled back the development because they said it was too intense. There was too high a density. Yet up the road, a couple miles up the road, he going to do the same thing with even higher density, more destruction, more dredging, and what they have shown from their first act is they have absolutely no regard for the environment and no respect for environmental regulations.
Now, I'm looking at this, but isn't it still before the courts that some sanctions?
It's still before the courts. I mean, the courts recently.
So why on June 30th am I having pictures sent to me?
Because they're misrepresenting what they're doing. They're telling the Bahamas we are doing a geotechnical survey. That is not what this is showing. This is coastline destruction. This is massive of the nearshore environment. This is massive destruction of tons of native trees, etc., with a bulldozer. This is not a geotechnical survey. So what they're doing is showing us that we cannot trust them. We certainly do not trust their word that they are going to do what their environmental management plan says they must do, because what they've proven by this very simple act, and it may actually be a silver lining to this destruction, because it certainly should make my colleagues, my friends at DEP and physical planning go, boy, can we really trust these dudes? Like, what y'all really doing? You all making us look bad. We give you all permissions. We working with you all. We trying to get this thing done responsibly. And this is what y'all come up and do behind our back. So hopefully this sends a message not only to the public, but also to the regulators that this developer cannot be trusted.
I wanted to take a slight step back and just, look at Samson Key, the Exumas in general. I think it's one of the most beautiful, absolutely gorgeous places on planet Earth, right? But if you're a Bahamian that lives in Nassau, if you're a Bahamian that lives in Grand Bahama, Abaco, and you've never been to Samson Key, why do you think that this conversation is important? Why do you think Bahamians should care about what's happening down there?
You're so right. And this is a problem. We raised this last time on the show, that I think a caller made the excellent point. And he called and said, Eric, I agree with you. I understand. But most Bahamians don't really know what you're talking about because they don't go to Exumas. It's sort of out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And while I accept that places a greater responsibility on people like myself, people like the client, to make sure that this story is told, so that they cannot sweep this under the rug. They cannot go behind, go out back, where the public may not see what they're doing, because we will blast you. When you go and do garbage, like you just did with this destruction emerged, we are going to blast it, because despite not necessarily knowing where this place is and how beautiful it is personally, we have an obligation to bring it to the attention of the Bahamian public to say, these people are destroying and disrespecting our environment and disrespecting our laws. So I know it's a difficult thing to sell to people, to accept and believe in something that they cannot touch and feel, but we still have an obligation to try and do that. What my client has been doing is to try and raise awareness amongst the Bahamian public. We've taken down so many people from the media. We've taken down influencers. We've taken down government ministers. The late Vaughn Miller went down and toured the property. We've taken other government officials because we think it is important for them to get there. Because oftentimes with these developments in the Family Islands, and especially in the more remote areas like the Exuma Keys, developments get approved and government officials have never even visited. Some of the people in the cabinet are making decisions about some of these areas that they may visit during the election campaign, but they don't regularly go there. So it is our obligation, our responsibility, for those of us who know, to share this information so that the awareness could be spread. And these guys cannot be doing this type of thing in the dark. We will bring your garbage to light. We will expose your smell.
And I know that during our last conversation, we talked about the seagrass down there. All of this fits into a bigger conversation around climate change and about what we want to do with our blue carbon economy. What do you think the average Bahamian isn't seeing in this conversation that definitely needs to be mentioned when you consider,
what they could do is feel. They could feel. Naughty talked about the power cuts and the AC on, and you feel how hot it was and it's sweating. You've seen all of the memes. Basically, this is climate change. This is real. What is contributing to climate change is rising global temperatures, because there's so much carbon in the atmosphere, and it's creating this buffer that traps all the heat on our planet. That rises the temperature. What helps to reduce that? What helps to mitigate that is carbon absorption. What absorbs carbon? What sequesters carbon? Coral reefs, seagrass especially. There's nothing better than seagrass. And when we go and smother and destroy the seagrass, we're therefore even making it more ourselves. So we make it the BPL problem worse, because we are reducing our country's ability to sequester, to absorb carbon, to help to relieve the impacts, minimize, lessen the impacts of climate change. So when our prime minister goes around the world, as he has done very loudly and eloquently,
Right.
Our brave prime minister has said, we are going to protect our seagrass. And we have the largest seagrass meadows in the world. And we're going to protect our seagrass. And we're going to monetize that for billions of dollars to help offset our national debt and to help with national growth. And then we allow these jokers to come in and kill the seagrass. That's ass backward. That don't make no sense. Zero. And we cannot trust them. And they are proven from this very simple first but very dastardly act that they don't care about the environment. And they will destroy it. They don't care who say. They know you can see it. They know everybody have cell phone. So the fact that you would do this out in the open where everybody could see it, you know what that tells me? We don't care. And it scares me because what? Do they think they have somebody in their back pocket? Do they think Depp's scared of them? Do they think somebody in the cabinet going to protect them when they do garbage? That is what is scary, that they are doing this out in the open. This didn't happen at midnight. This happened in the bold-faced heat of the day, light of day, this garbage, this destruction that they are doing. And if they're so blatant, then they must be confident and comfortable that nobody can touch them.
I know that we talked about this in our prior conversation about, what development should look like in the Exumas. And I know that you've said before that this isn't a case where the two developments cannot coexist, right?
Oh, that's not, it's the thing. Both developments can coexist.
Right.
If both developments were committed to not one cannibalizing the other. Remember, my client, Turtlegrass Resorts, was approved by the government of the Bahamas. They were stamped in red on their permit. You know what it said? No dredging. But my client was happy with that because dredging would have destroyed the very product that he's building his whole vision and his experience on. A couple of months later, it gets announced, heads of agreement signed for East Sampson Key with the Integra Group. And what does the government allow them to do? Dredge the hell out of the North Bay. So it isn't like the two can't coexist, but the government told them they could do this. The government should have said to them, hey, dudes, I see you all want to go to East Sampson. We're going to approve it, but this other developer has already been approved. You will need to fit your development within the parameters that allow for a coexistence. But government didn't do that. Government, these crazy ideas of this large commercial dock in the North Bay, 400 foot long seawall, massive dredging, destroying a beautiful, pristine bay that is for recreation and snorkeling and paddleboarding. And now government has said, you could turn this into a commercial shipping lane. You can bring big ships within 10 feet of a diver or a snorkeler, etc. The government didn't do that. The developer, they could come with any damn crazy idea that they have. It is our government's responsibility to look at that and say, you know something? That doesn't make sense either from an environmental perspective. And in this case, it doesn't make sense because you're going to negatively impact your developer and present an existential threat before them that will kill their vision. For a project we've already approved, government should have stepped in and said, hey, we hear you. This is what you want to do, but it ain't gonna happen. Government didn't do that. I don't know how the hell these dudes get this garbage approved because it is so clear that the destruction is there. And, last time I get all kind of calls, but who calling people name and whatever. I ain't saying nobody take no bribes, but somebody takes something because for something like this destruction, this nonsense to be approved, boy, somebody got to be in somebody's back pocket. That's what everyone is telling me. So I have to question it as well.
I wonder if this is also a product of us failing, as a country to have our own standards, and be like, if we had that in place, then it's not a matter of what the developer comes to us and says, oh, I want to do this. We would already have it, within our protocols that, okay, if you're developing in this area, this is a no-go zone for dredging. And that's not just the Exumas, but other parts of the country as well. Is this a failure on our part to have our own standing regulations beforehand?
Absolutely it is. Because, if, a developer comes to you with an idea, Mr. Cabinet or Mr. National Economic Council, they present their idea and it's crazy, it's out of scale. But you're right, that should now be judged against a development standard. And someone should be able to open up a proposal and go, hey, no, that cannot happen in this space. If you want large-scale destructive development, you need to go to one of the islands that we have approved this type of development. Go to Nassau, or go to Grand Bahama, or scale it down a little bit and go to one of the other islands that may be able to absorb a development a little larger. But you cannot bring, you should be told as a prospective developer, you cannot place 120 buildings on a tiny key. You cannot put enough covered space, the same 5 times more than what Bahama has on the cover, the Bahama Convention Center. There's no way in hell that could be appropriate in no world that we envision appropriate for a tiny island. And I cannot believe that within the people that I know in cabinet that have sense and discretion, I cannot see them sitting down at the NEC and go, this makes sense for this island. I really expected them to say, bro, this can't work here. It's too big. Scale it down. Nobody said that. So the fact that he was allowed to sail this garbage juice through our approval process is scary for me. And you're right. It means that we do not have standards that we apply, that we just let anybody come with any idea and anything goes. That is visionless, and it is a threat to our sustainable future.
Yeah, no, I think we should definitely have our own long-term national development plan for the Exuma Keys, because you hear about a lot of development in the Exumas, and as I said, that's like the jewel in our crown, right? The Exumas are. I'm just wondering, are we starting to reach the environmental kind of carrying capacity for parts of the Exumas? Because we're hearing about a lot of development down in the Exumas, and I'm wondering, where are we in terms of, the environmental capacity down in the Exumas?
We like to tout as a government that we have X billion dollars in development, right? When it was announced that there's, I think the deputy prime minister at the time, who was then the minister of tourism, the representative for Exuma, he announced he have $1.X billion developments for the Exumas.
Yeah.
And that included $500 million on Cave Key, and it included Torch Key, which is down in Exumas. But those are 2 islands that had already been impacted. There was dredging at Cave Key. There's a long airstrip at Torch Key for private jets, etc. So you could sort of in your mind go, well, I don't really like it, but I understand why cabinet would say this is probably acceptable. Not ideal, but acceptable. But when you look at the central Exumas and pristine Samson Key, nobody in their right mind sitting at the National Economic Council should be thinking this is okay. That baffles, not only does it disappoint me, it really baffles me. Because there's some people in cabinet that I like and I respect. My MP, Clay Sweeting. See Clay sitting down, Honorable Clay Sweeting, sitting down as a man from a family island. Yeah.
I need you to do me a favor, since you are right with Clay and Clay are right with you. Tell Clay to remove the debris from the Shantytown he knocked down in Abaco almost 2 years ago, that is now turned into a dump and is now a hazard that has been catching fire and putting toxic smoke into the air on multiple occasions. He needs to finish move that.
I can text him right after this meeting. But the point is...
Tell him you need to follow through on a jump shot and follow through on his department as well, too, and then he'll have more success in both those areas.
I will certainly relay your message to my member of parliament. He's a very responsible minister. He responds, and that is a problem. I think he will address it. But the point is, I don't see how someone like Minister Sweeting, who has responsibility for physical planning, who comes from a small family island community, who represents a family island constituency, I don't see how he could sit down in that meeting. It's okay. That disappoints me personally, and I can't rationalize how that happens. So you're right, MJ. He should be supported by, but he shouldn't even have to go there, because we should have a standard. So when the developer comes and my minister, my MP says, boy, this can't fly because it is not according to our standard. It is outside of the realm of possibility for a small, vulnerable, pristine island. It exceeds the carrying capacity. He should have that tool where he doesn't then have to make a subjective decision against developer A versus developer B. So we need those standards. But in the absence of having those standards, I do need to appeal to their common sense and their sense of loyalty to the Bahamas and to the environment.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and to me, just looking at everything that's happening down there, I feel like this has kind of exposed weaknesses in our environmental approval process. Do you get that sense? Do we got some weaknesses that we need to shore up?
There are several weaknesses that have been exposed. That is one. Certainly a weakness in the environmental regulations, a weakness in the not having standards, but also what has been exposed, sadly, is that the environmental community, there are no real strong environmental lobby groups, unfortunately, that the government would take seriously. And we need, that's one of the things I told my client I would certainly be working on as a Bahamian nationalist and formally, a national environmentalist part of an organization. And I'm not suggesting that that organization must be the one, but there must be an effective environmental lobby so that when these asinine projects come to government for consideration, one of the factors that would weigh in is that, one, it's too big. Two, it doesn't fit, it doesn't go with the zoning plan. But three, the environmental community will crucify us. And that's what I've seen as sadly lacking. I really want to applaud this local group called Save Exuma Alliance that really organically developed out of this. This is a group of local Exuma businessmen and concerned citizens who felt that this development was a threat to their very existence, to their way of life. And the Save Exuma Alliance was born. But again, they are small. They're in an island. They're locally in the Exuma Keys. And I don't think their voice is loud enough. So there is. So I think the other thing that I've identified.
But Eric, what you can do is forward all the information to me, and we will get them on the show.
Oh yeah, well, I will get some people we'll get Kiaje on your show, so you can hear it from the perspective of a local indigenous Exuma Key resident as to why this is unacceptable.
What people fail to realize is this, and I lobby for it from this standpoint, as part of my standpoint. What happened to old school city slickers like me that might be looking at retirement now and saying I want to go buy a piece of land in Exuma and retire?
You could buy one of them multi-billion on something if they get, looking, that destroyed a beautiful.
Right. There ain't nothing left. My options are gone down.
Nothing is going to be left. Nothing is going to be left. And, hey, I don't like the development. I don't think the developer is qualified. I think he is absolutely 100% off base. I've seen him switch plans on the fly. I move my marina from here to there. So he's not a serious developer. I don't blame him. I blame our system. I blame the National Economic Council. I blame DEP. I blame the local government councils that give these people approvals. Because you could come with any crazy idea, but it is for us as a people to accept if it is acceptable or reject it if it is, my favorite word, garbage. We should not be putting garbage in paradise. This boy wants to put, he wants to literally pave paradise with concrete. That's what they want at Samson Key. We should reject that. It isn't for my let me get it very clear. I do work for Turtle Grass, and my client is interested in sustainability for the Exumas, but my client is really interested in being able to execute his project as approved by government in his signed heads of agreement. He wants the North Bay that we keep talking about to be protected. He wants that crazy idea of a commercial dock in this pristine area to go somewhere else. Leave it for us to fight it and the environmentalists and see to say whether the development is too large and too intense. But just to be clear from my client's perspective, he's trying to be able to execute a development that was approved by the government of the Bahamas. And the threat to that, the existential threat to his development is that dock, some crown land that they approved for these dudes that they don't even know what they're going to do with 20 acres. They just give it to them basically fanciful because they have no real idea. And my client, just to be clear, wants to be able to do his development. He wants to put those 43 families back to work immediately. That's his objective. Whatever Integra does or doesn't do, that's up to them. And it shouldn't happen. Generally, I agree. But my client is concerned about being able to let his project proceed as envisioned, presented to the government, and approved, and then hijacked by a nonsensical approval by DEP to allow him to dredge and destroy the pristine North Bay.
Eric, what kind of feedback have you, sorry, just one quick question. What kind of feedback have you been getting from, the people that are actually there in exhumants? How have they been responding to this?
Listen, so there's certain reality, right? You go and you'll talk to people and people are split. People want jobs. So they see a development, they want jobs. And these guys, they snake oil salesmen. They will go and give out bicycles and basketballs and free food and rum and get people liquored up and bring them to a meeting. And it sounds like there's support. And then you have a reasonable meeting that we had in Georgetown, at the high school, in Morristown, I think. And you hear this spontaneous outburst at the end of the meeting. No dredging, no dredging. That to me was emphatic. That to me was the exclamation point about what local people were prepared to accept and what they were not prepared to accept. And the government was there. My good homeboy, now Senator Keenan Johnson, he was there and he heard no dredging, no dredging. And I believe he felt that, but he's a political puppet. He was a political puppet at the time, and he had to go back to whoever he met with after the meeting and say, yeah, there's opposition, but I think we could approve it. Unfortunately, he should have gone back, and the system should have, we should have had effective public consultation that would have convinced the system the people don't want it. And unfortunately, what we have, sadly, is since we really started this process and we've been so loud and vocal, the government has, in my opinion, very unwisely decided to silence the people. They have now created regulations under the Environmental Planning and Protection Act, those regulations, which says that the government, they don't have to bring this type of thing to the public. They could make these decisions in secret, that the director could decide whether she's going to allow public consultation or not. That is very unfortunate. That is scary, because the only opportunity we have as a people, as a citizenry, to offer an opinion or to register approval or displeasure with a proposed project is the public consultation process.
I did hear some back and forth with the Minister of the Environment, Mr. Lightburn, and the Member of Parliament for Killarney, I believe it was Michaela Barnett Ellis, about this particular that you're speaking of. So your understanding is that they can do these things without the public consultation? Because I think the minister was saying that, he was referring to older projects where there may not necessarily be an approval,
The regulation as proposed, I'm told, came into effect July 1st, says that if the director of the Department of Environmental Planning does not feel public consultation is necessary, she is empowered to say, I'm taking this to the public.
Yeah,
that is what is law. I hope the Honorable Zane Lightburn, who is from Eleuthera, he's a good island boy. I hope that he sees that is a threat to our sustainable development. And I hope he will reconsider that and realize that the power to decide whether or not the people have a say in protecting their environment, protecting their future, should not be left with a public official.
Yeah.
Dr. Neely is eminently qualified. She is a PhD scientist and might make the right decision. But I don't know who's going to be sitting there in 2 years. Maybe a corrupt official. Maybe someone who is more inclined to do big developments and who don't really care about what people think. That should not be left to the discretion of a public official to decide whether Eric Carey or Joe Darville has the right to say we have a problem.
I agree. I
silence your people.
I hope he clears that up, because I do believe that MP, Barnett Ellis did say that the way that it read, kind of aligns with what you're saying. And the minister said, no, it doesn't mean that. So maybe he needs to,
we need to keep an eye on Mr. Lightmore.
To communicate with us exactly what the reality
is. Dot his I's and cross his T's when he comes to this. But let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll wrap up with Mr. Carey and we'll get ready for the 5 o'clock. But like I said, appreciate you again, Eric, and being so candid, because this is the information we need. As we're speaking, I'm getting more pictures from Exuma saying yellow curtain going out, and more yellow curtain is going out as we speak.
And I got to hand it to Exuma, because, they said pockets and pockets to the radio station. They said it as personally, like people are really, they're really keen on this issue. That's why we're so happy to have you here with us today discussing this again.
My pleasure.
Quick break, flip side of the break. We'll be right back at you on the Tuesday, July 7th edition of Talking Heads. Don't touch it.
Really hope that you don't feel. Hope you don't feel cause I play R&B and thing. I don't need my ranking straight. I hope that y'all don't think I let it go. Hope you don't think
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape. A Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
Guess who's back?
It's that time again for the 31st annual Michael Scuderi Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic.
Bring it on now, let's go.
Whether you're a player or a fan, you don't want to miss this one. The action starts July 13th at the Hope Center. Log on to peaceonthestreets.com and register.
Come on, everybody, we're going!
That's the Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic, where we shoot hoops instead of guns.
Game time.
Going through tires faster than a hot night through butter. One wheel going left, one wheel going right, while the car trying to go down the road straight. Chief, you need to go into Muffler World and get your wheels aligned. You on the straight and narrow in no time with computerized wheel alignment. And since the car is up already on the rack, take them one-tread tires off and get some new ones. Muffler World on Mackey Street got that computerized wheel alignment and brand new tires.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Get messy with it.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch. A crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side. For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for The Buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
I they would get jiggy and ting to the sound of Rick and scream. Feel like my generation eased up on this thing. Like we ain't grew up on this thing. A part of me still wanna sing. They Rick and scrape gone, then they try put it in a coffin. But this thing give you that feeling. Where Rick and scrape gone, then we're going down with all them songs. Then I still just wanna jump around and sing songs by Iris Star and things. Some of the greatest stories ever told was on that Rick and scrape beat. No, some was told by Gino D. I grew up on K. I grew up on Ron. I grew up on R. Grew up on Elon Moxie. Really hope that you don't feel. Hope you don't feel cause I play R&B and things. I don't need my Rick and scrape. Wonder why y'all think I let this go. Hope you don't think cause I make rap music and things that I won't let D-Mac play.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, July 7th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. and wrapping things up with our very special guest, Mr. Eric Carey. And Eric, like I said, again, thank you for chiming in so candidly, because I'm getting a lot of texts here in New Providence that just coming after the last break. Naughty, yes, I agree with MJ. Thank you very much, Eric, for being so candid. I have family in Exuma. I have property in Exuma. I, like you, Naughty, would like to retire to a family island one day. This is important to all of us, quote unquote, city slickers. So,
no, good stuff.
I think there's a lot more Bahamians interested in this than not interested in this. And they're looking at the bigger picture. If we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Yeah, two things I want to say before we close. One, for people who feel that their rights have been trampled on, don't be afraid to take on the government. You know, my client, Bob Coughlin, who is an amazing philanthropist, long before he came to the Bahamas, absolutely does incredible work, not only in Exuma, but elsewhere. He decided that he will stand up for what is right. He believes he's on the right side of right. He's in court now because he couldn't get what he thought would be reasonable relief within the system. That's why he's in court, right? We also need to realize that these are small islands. You know, every step up creates more sewage, powered garbage, people's services. You know, Cave Key realized their plan was too dense. Don't forget that. They kicked this dude out of the project because it was scaled back, right? Generators, fuel, all of this stuff, when you put these things on small islands and make it not sustainable. The other thing I want to say is to Bahamians, I want to encourage Bahamians to speak up over this attempt to stifle public consultation. Write letters to the editor, call your MP. If you want your voice to be heard, you need to urge your leaders. Call Naughty, urge your leaders to make sure consultation is mandatory and not optional. Do not silence the voice of the Bahamian people.
You did mention...
I got a quick question for you. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Please ask Eric what he thinks about the marina on the highway in Governor's Harbor next to the clinics.
Look, Naughty, I don't want to shift focus. We have a lot of problems in Eleuthera. Let's do a show, me, you, and Kazarina, about Eleuthera and the problems we're having here. I really hope I want to end on this, focusing on this project.
No problem. Let's make it a date for Eleuthera. MJ's grandpa was from Eleuthera, and so was mine.
But my client has an approved project signed by the government, blindsided. When we met with the Prime Minister, me and him and his attorney, the Prime Minister was genuinely shocked that nobody consulted him when they approved this existential threat, this garbage, this huge commercial dock, dredging the cut, etc. I was hoping the Prime Minister would have pulled it back, but he said, I got to let this. The point is, you should not allow yourself. Stand up for what you believe in. Fight the system if you've been wronged, and do not let my good friend, the Honorable, or anyone else silence your individual or collective voice. That's our right as a people.
One thing about the Prime Minister and him not having a ministerial portfolio this administration, I'm kind of hoping that he does get to focus on climate change, because that seemed to be his passion during the last administration, and now I think he has more freedom or time to do it.
I can't wait to sit down with my PM. I haven't met with him yet. I got to go see him.
I know that the blue carbon policy is high on his list of on his agenda. I'm just wondering if international verification bodies look at us and they say, you know what, you guys are not adequately protecting these ecosystems. Do you think that could affect our credibility in
absolutely? And that was the point I made personally to the Prime Minister, that I don't care if it's 2 blades of seagrass, you cannot be talking about seagrass being so important to mitigating climate offsets and to basically part of our carbon strategy, monetizing carbon, and to go allow some jokers to come in and destroy it. And again, I want to emphasize, Naughty, go and Google these dudes, Philippe McLean, and see that they have no successful developments in the U.S. All businesses have failed, and we're going to gamble with giving this failed developer who has never done any development of any type or any business anywhere, we're going to give him the pristine Samson Key and the pristine North Bay to screw up. That don't make no sense. Google him and see how this don't make no sense.
I've Googled it in depth, Eric, and I see the failings along the way. His failures are consistent, so I applaud him on his consistency, but they're consistent failures. What's more important to me now is I've been hearing reports and getting allegations for a long time. Allegedly, Mr. McLean is very tight with Mr. Cooper. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, we don't know
allegedly.
That. We don't know that. Here's my final question to
thank you, MJ.
Mr. Carey. Tell me, what do you hope the Exumas look like 20 years from now? Because I think sometimes they're very short-sighted, in terms of, yes, we do need jobs, we do need the investments, but we kind of have to look at the next generation and the generation after that. What is your hope?
I hope that the Exumas has areas like the Exuma Keys Land and Sea Park fully protected. But where we do development, I hope that we have developments that use Turtle Grass Resort as a model of sensible, sustainable development. My client is not anti-development. He is having an impact on the island, but his development is sustainable. So my vision is an Exumas where development takes place and people enjoy it, including hopefully more Bahamians. But I want to see that the model of development is sustainability, not this crazy, destructive, garbage juice type concept that Integra has brought to the table. Throw it away. Garbage.
Well, I know you got your Ari Spears quote down, impersonation down pat for sure. But Eric, I want to thank you for chiming in and being so candid as always. Let's see if we could get Eleuthera in next week. I'm going to follow up with you. And if you got some time next week, let's get the conversation started in Eleuthera, what's going on down there. And obviously, we'll stay on our Exuma conversation. This is not going to bed. This is not going away. No hedge on the dredge.
We ain't going to let it down.
I could be them on like flies on you know what.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Good day.
And we appreciate you as always, Eric. Regards to the fam, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Flips out of the break. We're getting to the 5 o'clock hour. We got news coming up. We will be talking some more topics and some more issues, as well as sports. So please keep it right where you got it. The Tuesday, July 7th edition of Talking Heads continues right after that.
Get jiggy and ting to the sound of Rick scream. Whoa, feel like my jib up on this thing. Like we ain't grew up on this thing. A part of me still wanna sing. Hey, Rick and Skip gone, then they try put it in a coffin. But this thing give you that feeling. Where Rick and Skip gone, then we're going down with all them songs. Then I still just wanna jump around and sing songs by Iron Star and ting. Some of the greatest stories ever told was on a Rick and Skip beat. No, some was told by Gino D. I grew up on K. I grew up on Ron. I grew up on
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only.
Fun Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear workwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
No budget for a vacation this summer? No worries. We got you. Guardian Radio 96.9 will fly you and a guest to South Florida for a vacation of a lifetime. Our sweet summer escape gets you round-trip tickets on Bahamas Air. $1,000 spending cash, thanks to Percy's Island Games. Brand new luggage from Brass and Leather. 4 days and 3 nights at the beautiful Holiday Inn Express Plantation. Free car rental from Hertz, too. All you need is your passport. We got you covered. Enter now for the Guardian Radio 96.9 Sweet Summer Escape. Fill out the form in today's Nassau Guardian and follow us on all social media platforms. Remember, you must be 18 or older to enter. Entry deadline August 12th, drawing August 14th. Taxes not included and certain restrictions apply.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Try put it in a coffin. This thing give you that feeling, that feeling. Where it gets keep going, then we're going down with all them songs. Then I still just want to jump around and sing songs by ancient man and things. Some of the greatest stories ever told was on a Rick and Scrapey. No, some was told by Gino D. I grew up on Kid, I grew up on Ron, I grew up on Al, grew up on Elon Moxie. Really hope that you don't feel. Hope you don't feel cause I play R&B and things. I don't need my ranking straight. I hope that y'all don't think I let it.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, July 7th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. We'll be joined in short order by Earl the Pearl. Pearl will be in the building. But, MJ, I know we were supposed to talk about some other topics, you know. In this 5 o'clock hour, I'm going to, talk more about BPL. Talk some more about the MP raises, the suggested, raises for MPs. In addition to that, we need to talk about, the cost of living that's going on here, how it's affecting people. Healthcare, obviously, the tragedies on the road. Obviously, we cannot let who politician number one is in that scenario hit the back pages. We got to talk about all of that. But I got a phone call. And our special guest tomorrow said, please, man, don't get into all of that today, man. You can touch on it, but save something for me tomorrow when I come on, because I want to touch on some of these things, too.
Yeah, no, I know. MP salaries go. I was listening to, I got to hear the end part of a good friend, our fellow Talking Head, Anku, his show, and I think he raises a very important point that I think so far has been missing from this conversation surrounding MP's salary increase. Where he talked about, any increase that may or may not come should definitely not be applied to this particular parliament. That idea is so important, and I think that's where we need to start. You guys know I like to talk about first principles, and one of the pillars of of natural justice is nemo judex in causa sua, which means that you shouldn't be a judge in your own cause. So if we are to talk about the MPs and their salary increases, it certainly should not be applicable to this particular parliamentary term. it should apply after an election. So we'll go into more details about that. And this is an important concept. You know, it kills me that we're operating like some of these ideas have not been around for hundreds of years. And the prime minister is a very, very intelligent man. I'm sure he understands the inherent conflict in this parliament deciding to potentially increase salaries and then immediately get the benefit of that. So I know that we're going to go into more details on that tomorrow.
But hold on, what happened to earning your pay raise? What happened to show me a criteria where you've earned this raise?
All of those
It can't just be across the board, because you know we have some lousy MPs and you have some good MPs. So if you got an MP that's working and doing his job, yeah, I want to see them get that done. But if you got an absolute, horrible MP, why?
Well, it'll be uniform, right? Because that whole concept of lousy versus good MP is certainly subjective. Although I'm sure that there are some
who are doers and movers and shakers and who aren't.
We'll all agree that some are really good, and we'll all agree that some are really not good, right? But the first principle is that they should not even appear to be self-dealing. So if you're going to do this, just look at, like I said, the pillars of natural justice. Just look at the U.S.'s 27th Amendment to their Constitution. You know, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and many other learned people have already given us, you know, the kind of lay of the land when it comes to this. So the first thing we should all agree on, which I don't think should be a point of disagreement, is that any increases that may come cannot be that this parliament decides that this parliament immediately gets a pay increase. It has to come after the next election. It has to apply moving forward, right? So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I just wanted to say that before we get into the nitty-gritty of what, their full remuneration package actually looks like. Because we hear $28,000, but do we have a full accounting? Do we have a full accounting of the benefits that come along with it? The certain other perks that they may get as MPs that are part of the compensation? We don't even have a full picture of that. But like I said, we'll go into more details on that tomorrow.
Okay. Now, and our special guest tomorrow is going to be having a great conversation with us on these topics as well. He's the current MP for Long Island. We're talking about F&M MP for Long Island, Dr. Andre Rollins. So definitely have a candid conversation with Doc tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep. All right. So obviously this is something now that I have to do. And I have to do it a lot of times. I've done it more recently than I'd like to do. I'm waiting for Pearlie to zoom in, but I think Pearlie, I know my reasons why Pearlie hasn't zoomed in yet either. And when I
do want to say before, just happy birthday to Pearlie. And I'm sure that's not just from us, that's from all of the listeners. You know, we love Pearlie. So Pearlie, I said it earlier today, but please do enjoy your birthday. Although I know that this is probably going to be difficult.
And Pearlie, I love you like a big brother, and I want you to have an awesome, happy birthday. And I hate having to drop news like this on your birthday, but let me get to this. I mean, when you're successful at radio and you have a good show and people gravitate to your show, you become friends with your listeners. That's when you kick through the wall, you know what I mean? And you actually become friends or associates with some of your listeners because they call on a regular basis, they support your show, they ride for your show, and they become a part of it directly or indirectly. St. Pete was a prime example of that. R.I.P. to St. Pete, we miss you. You're a big part of Talking Heads. Well, today, MJ, I got some more bad news. And I want you to brace yourself for this. I made some texts and calls while we were doing the first hour because the text came through and I didn't want to just read it indiscriminately. But I am absolutely heartbroken to read this. One of the first callers when we first came on the air and was very supportive of this show for the 4.5 years we've been on, especially the sports. I got some muff rolled this morning to a massive heart attack. I am without words. Muff used to call in for the first hour, but Muff loved his sports. And Muff was a big part of making the show popular and getting it out there when it first started. And to know that we lost Muff this morning to a massive heart attack has me absolutely heartbroken.
I have to say,
my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I talked to his son. I am so sorry for y'all's loss.
I have to say that this is, unexpected and very sad news. I know not only was he a great contributor to this show, but to many shows on Guardian Radio.
Across the board, he rode for Guardian Radio. Yeah, maybe Talking Heads is his favorite show, but he rode hard for Guardian Radio.
So to know that we lost him this morning is truly heartbreaking. And I want to send condolences out to his family. We love Muff like another member of the Talking Heads family. And I am so sad that he's no longer with us, that we won't get to hear his voice or his opinions or just him making us laugh.
Now I got nobody to help me mash up the Spurs. You and the Spurs when the Spurs run out.
He was rooting, hoping.
But he used to call and goosey you when the Spurs lose.
He did, but he was hoping, that we pull it off.
Boy, he's not going to get a chance to see Giannis play for the Heat. I mean, the Heat was a big party. Everything South Florida was his team. The Dolphins, the Heat, all of that, the Marlins. And what I liked about Muff is he embodied Bahamiana. A lot of the things that we talk about and that are part of the stitching, of the fiber, and the interwoven patchwork that we are as Bahamians. Muff embodied all of that, man. The good, the bad, the ugly, man. He rode for the Bombers. He's happy and proud to be a Bahamian. He loved the sports, loved voicing his opinion to make the country better. And to know that we lost him this morning, I am heartbroken.
And he's one of those brave souls, because it's not easy. I know we have a lot of listeners, a lot of texters, a lot of people that, contribute not just to this show, but to all shows on Guardian Radio. But sometimes, you have those moments where you have to be brave and really say how you feel and really get your opinion out there. And he was not afraid to do that. Like, he was one of those souls that if something was happening in the country and he felt a way about it, Muff would let you know, So he's going to be dearly missed. I gotta be honest, I still can't even believe that he's gone. I'm halfway hoping he calls in right now and says, no way y'all hear that. That ain't no true, I'm halfway hoping that is not, that we haven't lost him, but I understand that we have. And so again, my deepest condolences to his family. He will be missed. He was loved by us. And I think it's just a reminder, it's so fleeting in life,
Boy, y'all run sexuals, y'all in trouble now because y'all got to tote it from me and I riding for Muff, so y'all got to tote it for me and for Muff when I see y'all.
Hey, Pearly.
Amen.
Pearly, first and foremost, happy birthday, my brother. I love you to pieces. You've always been a great big brother to me from St. Francis Xavier time when I was a little fella and up through being an altar boy and all through my career as a comedian and a broadcaster. You've been there, bro. You've offered great advice, and I love you to pieces. And I'm so sorry we got to share this bad news on your birthday. I know Muff was your boy, too.
Man, Muff's son texted me today, and when I got the text, I was thinking, because every year for my birthday, Muff send me some Absolute. So I'm thinking this Muff texting me saying, hey, I got your Absolute. I coming through. And when I text back, hey, he didn't answer. So I call and I say, yo, what's up, Muff? He said, bro, I so sorry to tell it to you like this. I say, no, man, no. Don't tell me that. No, do not tell me that.
Oh, boy.
And he said Muff had a flare and he went to Ultra Games to put in his, and fell out right there.
Oh. I heard it was a massive heart attack.
Yeah, man.
And we lost Muff. I mean,
he when I first started the show and when you gave me the first day by myself, Muff is one of the first people to call and encourage me and always did.
After the first week of Talking Heads, Muff called me on a Friday. Said, "But I give you a week, but I like this show, but you have my full support. I can ride with the show in sports too." And Muff rode from day one, week one till now.
Yep. We lost a good guy, man. We lost a guy who was a true Bahamian.
This what I call the negative part of radio. Like when you're successful, like me and MJ and yourself, people know one thing, okay? When they like your show, that you actually become friends with people off the air because they supporting and they buying into what you're saying and all of that, and they should. And it is That's the drawback, because when you have to make announcements like this, it absolutely tears your heart open. I'm thinking of St. Pete right now. I'm worried to death about Nana Boy, because I haven't heard from him yay or nay one way or another.
Yeah.
We lost Mr. Ferguson recently. We lost Darren Zonnie, who was a nurse and listened to us religiously. I mean, I appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. I'm glad we're doing something that you guys like and gravitate to. But my God, y'all got to stick around, man. Please, man. This is too much heartbreak. This is too much.
I could always say, well, ain't nobody called the show. And then 2 seconds later, Muff right there.
On the line.
Muff
Sundays
right
as
there.
well.
What's up, man?
Sundays
And he always say, let me go to let somebody else get on. And I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah.
And Muff and I developed friendship outside the show, because we would talk to each other. You know, he'd call and we would talk. If the Lakers do something, you know, the Heat, he'd call. This has been a blow.
I would like to put it out there, not just from me and MJ and Pearly, but somebody who's very heartbroken in his own right now is Starboy. Because Starboy and Muff developed a friendship on the Sunday show and then during the week when he filled in, because they talk sports.
Yeah.
And Muff used to encourage him, you know, to go to college, continue on the path you're on. You do it. You're a brilliant young man. Keep on keeping on. And it's really got me heartbroken right now. But like, I cannot lie. Let me get to some of these texts real quick. Condolences to the family of Muff Rowe from your favorite listener, Ani Luthra. May his soul rest in peace. My condolences. That's the guy from Bamboo Town by Porky's. Yes, correct. Naughty and MJ and Pearly, condolences to his family. I enjoy listening to Muff calling, man, I right here crying. Lewis Yard.
Yeah.
Condolences to the family of Muff Rowe from your favorite listeners, and his soul rest in peace. Happy birthday, Pearly. Sorry it's under such bad circumstances. Oh, wow, Naughty and MJ and Pearly. So sorry to hear that Muff passed. My condolences to his family and Talking Heads. I always awaited his call.
Yeah.
But you know something? I'm going to take Muff's passing as a blessing.
Yep.
That some strength pass on to me as I get older, and, you know, I can dedicate shows to him and live in his memory, because that brother, he was cool. I mean, he didn't know me from the mountain.
But I don't tell the Bronxexuals they got hell to pay now. Because I really ready to roll y'all out of there and talk to y'all stink wherever LeBron end up. But now I got to do it for me and for Muff. So you know it can be extra saucy, extra cheeky, and extra and see, I almost did it. Extra spicy.
Man, for real. Boy, but I got to say, half my family, I want to send my love to his family. You know, I told his son to let me know
what we could do. Anything.
Let me know what the arrangements are and all that, you know. You know, but we're losing.
I'm sure we got some callers on the line. Let's go to them. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon, Larry.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mary Jane and Freddie.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi.
What's up, boy? That's the neighbor. That's the boy. Muff Road. You know.
Hold on a second. Are you the crazy Pittsburgh Steelers neighbors to talk all that smack?
No, man. This ain't Brett, man. This your boy. Not you know this is too, man. You know.
I want to make sure, but listen. You and Brett now got to start calling in memory of Muff on Sundays. You hear me?
Man. Yeah, I don't call it like that, but you know, but when I hear it,
you got to start now.
Hotel, you know, I heard the news 1:30 p.m. in the hotel when somebody in the hotel told me.
At 1:30 this afternoon?
Yeah, somebody showed me in the hotel, and I work in the hotel, and I couldn't believe it. I say what? I couldn't hardly do my work no more. I did, you know, say passing, and I said, wow, I couldn't hardly do no work. I had to stop everything.
But what you think about me right now? Thank God for MJ and for Pearly, because...
Yeah. And I called 52. 52 didn't rely after when I knocked up off the tree. I called 52. He said he didn't know either. You know?
Please, man, do me a favor. In memory of Muff, man, you don't have to do it every Sunday, but every once in a while, just call us on a Sunday when we talking sports.
Yeah, but me and Muff was planning to come on. Watch this. Me and Muff was planning to come on your show before the football season started talking football. We talked about a couple months ago.
We can still do that, and me and you and Pearly and MJ will do that, and we'll still keep making noise to your crazy Pittsburgh Steelers neighbors too. I still can mash that coin.
Yeah, man, that's a blow to me. I can't hear anything right now, man.
Yeah.
You pray for us, and we can pray for you, man.
I can't believe it. And guess what? Me and Muff being in the Porky party 2 weeks ago. I took the video with him in the party.
I know he was hot up to go to that, so I'm glad he made that, and I'm glad he got to see Mr. Dorset and all of that too, because that was his spot. My
God.
He called me. I had to post it on my status, man, and you know, with the Muff in the body and things like that. But that's a
All right, bro, but I don't want you to be a stranger. Make sure to reach out to us on Sundays, man, please.
Noddy,
Man, looking forward to hearing from you.
I can tell you this is so. If Pearly read my inbox message, just he can give him my name. I send Pearly a message to my Muff Road, but he ain't respond. So if you see the message now, you can say the name.
This voice so familiar right now, but I haven't called the wrong name.
Yeah, I haven't. I can tell you. I can show you later, man.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Let's get to this other call. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon. Noddy, MJ, Pearly.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
I
man.
also want to join you guys, and because I'm just hearing the loss of that great gentleman. I don't personally know him, but I know him from because I just call the radio. He just called the radio, so I'm familiar with him, his voice, and how passionate and how honest he used to be when he called the radio. So I also one of them would it's a hard day today because that was a powerful voice, and he came always with facts and passion, and that's why I always used to follow it too, man.
Yeah.
I feel your pain there, caller, and you have to continue to call in memory of Muff, because it was one thing like this texter said, and it's so true. Muff was passionate about change and development in this country and in this area.
Yeah, he
was. So rest in peace. And if you are of that elk, and Muff resonated to you, call in, pick up the mantle for Muff, and let his memory continue to live on by making positive change for this country.
He's going to be so missed. He's going to be so missed.
I was so sure you'll get at least one call, and that'd be Muff. Always. I always say, let me go and let someone else get on. I always smile when he said, let me go and let someone else get on.
He always used to say that was his catchphrase.
Yeah.
I wish Sparky would have learned that from Muff.
No, he would say, "Okay, gentlemen, let me go in and let someone else get a call." Oh my gosh, they're gonna miss.
Boy.
They're gonna miss.
I'm gonna tell you all this now. If y'all see me rocking a Giannis Miami Heat jersey this year, the black one, no, I don't like the Heat. No, I don't like no teams out of Miami except for the U. You know I am wearing that for Muff Road. And anybody who knows me and sees Naughty, from when you see me in it, don't say, hey, will Naughty wear the Heat? No. Say Naughty wearing that for his boy Muff.
He was so excited. So excited.
And this football season, we had talked about doing so many things, man. And oh, boy. Very, very heartbreaking. Let me get to some more of these texts. Wow, Naughty, as an avid Guardian listener and a fan of your show, I didn't know about St. Pete, and hearing about Muff just now was heavy. Keep up the good work, you, MJ, and Pearly, and a special happy birthday to you, Pearly.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. What's Muff's government name? I'm going to miss his voice calling to your talk show. May his soul rest in peace. Condolences to the family and the passing of Muff and to the Talking Heads crew. I know this is a blow for you all. Naughty, MJ, and Pearly, is this true? They say Muff Roll died. That was my boy. Naughty. Muffler was my boy. We can miss him. Condolences from me. Truly the Papa. Oh, the Papa, the blind one. Oh, Papa, good day. Papa, call us, Papa. Let me hear your voice, Papa, because you've been missing in action, too. And I want to know you good, too, Papa. But thank you for reaching out, Papa. Thank you so much. Naughty and MJ, what do you guys think about the World Cup game today? Listen, the World Cup game, Argentina came through 3-2. Messi proved his brilliance. Egypt took the foot off their neck. They could have definitely won that game.
That was the game of game. That was awesome. That was a great game. And they had less than 20 minutes. It was like in the 70th minute. I say they down. 2-0. I was like, oh, then I looked, they scored. I said, look out. And when they went 2-2, I said, you know something? Argentina are going to mash around it.
Yes, sir. Just weighing in on the sad news about Muff, one of the contributors to the show. But I don't know if it will be at all possible today. But if sometime, and I hope if you get around to doing it, I'm listening. Just a little sound bite from Muff from the past.
Yep. We will do that. Yep.
We will do that.
I thought about that.
As painful as that is, we will do that.
It's amazing how, of course I know the name, I listen all the time, but I'm here in my yard doing some yard work, and I'm crying with you guys, believe it or not. Never seen a guy in my life. Yeah.
That's how he affected people,
That's one thing that I've always prided myself on, MJ, and Pearlie to an extent in his own right. We said that this show has to reach people. We want people to be a part of the show. We want Bahamians to sound off. We want them to be talking heads. We want them to be part of the conversation. And we're so glad that you are. You listen, whether you call or not, but you listen, you're there. And Muff was one that not only listened, he liked to chime in and get involved. And we've had many that like to chime in and get involved. And we've lost some over the time, and it's really painful. It really hurts.
Yeah, Naughty, I'll tell you the kind of friendship, Naughty. Anybody travels.
Thank you for calling, caller. I appreciate you.
Thanks, caller. I apologize. Anyone who travels might say to them is bring coffee. So Muff went away. This is early December 24. I say bring coffee. Muff literally called me to ask me which coffee to bring. Muff brought that coffee, brought 2 different types of coffee for me, and dropped it off and say, enjoy your coffee. That's the kind of stuff.
What about the birthday cake when he said for sure you have to get some of this birthday cake, and he sent the birthday cake with you?
Yes.
He always thought about he always thought about others.
Always. Yes.
I will miss hearing from Muff on the talk shows on the radio. The last time I spoke with him, he brought me some food from Tropical Gyros. He is my boy. He was a cool fellow. Condolences to you and your family, Naughty and Pearlie and MJ, from Pauper the Blind One again. Pauper, man, appreciate you, bro.
Pauper's so good.
Let's go back to the phone. Let's go back to the phone line. Talking heads.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Good afternoon.
That's Chief. That's Big Chief.
Oh, Big Chief, man. You just can make me cry now.
Just say rest in peace to Muff, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big Kansas City Chiefs critic gone to the stadium in the sky, man.
Yeah. That's it's a crazy path. We all got to walk, but it don't make it no easier. So condolences to his family, friends, and the whole Talking Heads nation, because they can't call it a family anymore. The Talking Heads nation.
I want to say this to you, man. You know you're a big part of the Talking Heads family. You're a big part of Talking Heads Nation. I just want to let you know we appreciate you for your contributions, not only socially and politically, but obviously during football season. And we're going to need to hear from you extra because of Muff. For the loss of Muff this year, I need to hear more from you in sports.
Yeah, definitely. It's been crazy, this last couple of weeks. But I can tell you this, man. He really made an impact, and that's how we got to do. We got to share what we know, share our opinions, be able to laugh about certain things. Sometimes you got to row, sometimes you got to fight. But
agree
you
to
always
disagree.
remember that at the end of the day, we all family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all family. So I was, I condolences, because like I say, at the end of the day, this is something for us, man. Being able to call in and talk and speak our minds about sports and about society and not worry about no agenda. That's the other thing. Not other places, I ain't gonna lie to you. Other things I don't call because other places, because they all got their agenda. You understand? But yeah. I know here, it's just, hey, speak the truth, do what you got to do and be done. And that's why so much has flocked to you, flocked to you and Pearlie and MJ. We flocked to that because we understand. For us, that's a rarity. In a lot of spaces and places, you can't say what you got to say. So you all just, keep doing what you're doing, and let's create more muscle there. More people
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Doc.
All right.
Talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Y'all have me, I think I'm the first female who called. But hi, good afternoon. Happy birthday, Pearlie.
Thank you.
I listen to y'all just about every afternoon. And I hear when Muff calls in. I don't know Muff from the Man in the Moon, but it's like a connection.
Yeah.
And my condolences to his family. And as you two teared up in the studio, it's just so touching. You hear voices and they begin to mean something to you. So, again, my condolences to all of you and as well his family.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, caller. Let's get to the other call. Talking Heads. Talking Heads, turn your radio down for us, please, caller. Hello?
Hello? You gotta listen to your phone, caller, not the radio.
Listen to your phone, not your radio. Listen to your phone, not your radio. Talking Heads.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Naughty.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's happening, man?
Everything cool. Thank God for life. Listen.
This Pauper?
Yeah.
Pauper,
Hey, Pauper.
First and foremost, I am so glad to hear from you, Pauper.
Yeah,
and
man.
Pauper, you always continue to be Pauper.
Yeah, I ain't stuff.
Keep your feet on solid ground, brother, and keep doing what you do. And know I got your back, and nobody can play around you for no opinion what you have. You call wrong the wrong is, you call right the right is, and you're one of the realest people I know, buddy. And I got you.
That be Naughty, that be Muff. He remind me of my friend Barnes stuff.
Boy, you remind me of Bonnie for sure, and I miss Barnes too.
What about them? They good with sports. They be right on target. You sit down with a game with them before the referee call the call. He could tell you it. They know what they be saying with sports. I listen to him call the radio talk with sports with y'all. He's be right on target. He ain't the only one knows sports. I know Pearly. Happy birthday, Pearly. And good day, good day, Miss Naughty.
Hey, Papa.
I even forget my girl name, Jim. Jesus.
It's okay. It's
MJ.
okay. It's okay. It's okay, Papa. I'm
All
just
that's
happy
gotta
to
go one day,
I
All
know.
that's gotta go. It's so sad.
It is.
Just wish you could do something to bring these people back, but you can't. All they can
Papa,
do is
let me
just
ask you a
remember
question.
them and remember the good about them, you see. I hope his son take over the business and represent his daddy.
His son got two uncles ready to mentor him right now.
Mommy, you always talk about his mummies. And Mr. Rolly, uncle, I think he already passed away. My first school, man, how much time we sit down and we talk for hours and stuff. Like I said the last time, I remember him in person and he talked to me. He'd bring me some food from by Tropical Gyro, some of the pork thing with the rice, with the veggie or which
Pork ball, yeah, man.
And it tastes good every day. But Naughty, I doing my thing, right? I was going to call and I ain't have no shame. My game crying as a big man, but
No, and you are just a
Papa. He
Papa.
me so much of LeVon Barnes, my boy Barney, that was hard with sports. That was Barney boy before he
But let me
turned
let
my
you
boy,
know
'cause
something.
they was like CDR. They're loyal to no party like that. They always believed we needed to change, and they was tired of two political parties. But I only call in because you say you want me to call in because
But Papa, I want you to hear me before you hang up. Two things. That number I have for you is still the correct number, correct?
Yeah, I tried to call you on WhatsApp a few times. They say you're off.
No, I got to change number. I can get you my new number. That's probably the reason why. So I'll call you after the show today. But I want you to know
but
something.
I still listen to the chats and stuff on the talk.
I want you to know something.
Still in the group.
I need you. And more importantly, Muff would want you to continue to call in. Bannister, you can imagine what Bonnie will tell you right now, to continue to call in and continue to fight. And that's what you have to do. And we're going to continue this fight in their memory to make this country a better place.
I know I can't stop listening. I can promise you and tell you that. I can't stop listening, Naughty.
Not a problem, Muff. But know that we love you and know that you're a big part of this show, too.
Yeah,
all right?
we love you, Papa.
I love you too, but I love all of y'all. But condolences to his family again. And if you get a chance, maybe you give his son my number too. That guy was school.
Yeah, don't worry. He got two uncles and me and Pearly who can make sure he's straight.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Condolences, family, man. We can miss my role. Like you say, like the caller say, when you get some time, maybe when you do them rewinds and things, we'll hear his voice. But respect, though.
And
Respect
trust me when I tell you, as much as I hate Miami sports teams, As much as my heart could spare a little bit of love for Muff to pull for them every now and again, I will. That's the best I could do, Muff. You're out there looking down, that's the best I could do.
That's right there washing some clothes, my brother. Corsi, Mo the African, my African brother.
Yeah.
He called me, said, "Buddy, them say, Muff dead." It's come like this. I mean, we didn't know where we could go, but every second you could hear this one going there. They could be talking with me, they could be talking with you. That's how it go. Live we may and die we must. But let's just thank God for everything and the memories we spend with him. He's a real brethren, man.
And when we reach the grave, we need to know that we put all our effort out there, and Muff put a lot of effort out there to make this country better, his business better, his family better. So,
Yes, sir. All right. All right, I'll finish listening, man.
Thank you so much, Papa.
Let's get this one call in.
From you.
Let's get this one call in, and then we'll get to the break. Talking Heads.
My brother, how are you?
Good
Hello.
afternoon. Hi.
I'm here. How are you, Mr. and Mrs.? How are you?
I don't know how I'm doing right now, but we can survive through God's grace.
Man, I am dumbfounded. Papa, good afternoon to you. Give me a call when you finish. I just heard Muff this morning on another show.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
That would have been the early show, the bike show, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think this was on Dwight's show. If I remember, I heard him this morning.
Yeah, this me.
Boy, this is time. Oh, man. Oh, in fact, I just lose my brother maybe a month ago.
So sorry for your loss.
Condolences to you.
Yeah, I think about a month ago now, we buried my brother. Wow, Muff. Wow. Muff is the one who always throw blows at me sometimes. Yeah, okay. Muff. Wow. Okay. In fact, I glimpsed him when they had the birthday party for Mr. Porky Dorset. Was it last week? But I didn't stop. Oh, wow. Anyway, on behalf of myself and all of the farm, he loves sports. I want to give my condolences to his family. Thank you so much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Yeah, condolences, Adam MJ, Naughty One.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
I feeling this because...
Now, Dennis, before we get into this, use another one. You use one of my, little mischief makers, but I love you to pieces, love your contributions, and I need to hear more from you in memory of Muff. All right? And I want you to know how much we appreciate you.
Yeah, because it hit me because, just a couple of weeks ago when Muff, I don't know, a couple of months ago, when he announced that his cousin to the schoolmate, he was made to the consular up in government consul up in Washington, D.C. and Cheryl Bazard and them. And, my sister house up there, right through the corner there by parking next to the Reach on the corner. Know all the brothers, them and things from Bamboo Town, from Baca, Asking McPherson and Ben Fabi, this Rice from Yellow Elder, Derby Road, and to everybody condolences. You see, so I feel in this, because my sister passed, two of them. And
so sorry for your loss, Dennis.
I'm so sorry, Dennis.
And they, like 3 weeks apart. And she, that one, she lived right there through the corner there, next to the Reach on the corner, right there,
Oh,
so
man.
I feel in this too. So, Muff, I like his contribution and condolences to Guardian and the show.
Thank you so much,
Dennis.
And we look forward to hearing from you in all the shows coming up.
I win.
Thank you, Dennis.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads. All right, I think that, okay, are we good? All right. Let me just exhale for a minute here, man. God. One thing that I do want to express, and MJ and Pearlie, we're just going to do this. We're going to go for about another 4 minutes, and then we're going to wrap, and we got some music and stuff to take us to the news. But one thing that I would implore, if you are listening to this show, we appreciate it. If you are listening and you live vicariously through the likes of Muff and other callers that call in on a regular, that's awesome. But at the same time, if you agree with what we're saying or disagree, or you agree with our callers or disagree, please chime in. The more talking heads, the better, because that's how we get better. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree to get better. Sometimes we have to agree and be on the same page. Sometimes we got to find solutions. But at the end of the day, always remember how proud of a Bahamian Muff was. And he loved this Bahamas, just how much I love this Bahamas, MJ, Pearlie.
He
and
did.
At the end of the day, we want better for the Bahamas and for Bahamians first.
We are true patriots.
And if you felt like you wanted to talk on a talk show before and you didn't, but now that you feel inspired to, do it in the memory of Muff. And the ones who've gone on before, like Bannister as well, too. Couldn't be remiss if I didn't remember Bonnie. But at the end of the day, these people do come into your lives just like we do. You listen to us every afternoon, which we appreciate, and they become part of your lives too because they call in on a regular. And they become part of our family, and it hurts. And I didn't hear from 52 today, but 52, shout out to you, my brother, Poet Laureate of Talking Heads. We love you, we appreciate you. And now you got to come with double contributions for you and for Muff. But at the end of the day, it is so surreal, and it's weird how this radio thing works and how this media thing works. Because people actually become part of your shows by being regular callers and contributing with solid information.
Yeah, no, we love all of our callers, our texters, and like you said, Naughty, you know, you do not have to agree with us. And in fact, I find that I learn more agree, and then they tell me why, and then, you know, like you learn more as a Bahamian, and you find different ways to solve some of these problems in the country. So we do appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, no, I welcome the different opinion. If you don't agree with me, fine, tell me that. I ain't gonna be mad.
Yeah,
I welcome that, you know, but not everything Muff said I agreed with, but, you know, that was what it was about. You know, bringing your opinion, being a talking head, you know, and, you know, I too will try my hardest, but, you know, I need to put on a Heat jersey at least once, maybe for the first game of the season. Because
you ain't making me put on no freaking Dolphin jersey. That ain't happening.
I know he and of course, you know, him and I talk about the Dolphins, and I said the Dolphins ain't gonna win more than 5 games. He was quite offended by that. You know, because he really believed one thing. If he was pulling for you,
Dolphin fans.
Yeah, he believed that his team will win every game, and he would have that faith, even though he know they can lose. He can say, "We can win. We can do this." And he's everything Miami, the Heat, the Marlins, the Dolphins. He loved the University of Miami. He loved the Miami teams, and you know, and boy, when he went on vacation last year, they had a little dress up. He sent me pictures of them in the costumes and all that, and did bring my coffee.
Man, I'm gonna miss Muff so much.
I was just scrolling back in the phone and looking at, in September is his birthday. Remember wishing him happy birthday and getting cake? You know, we had to get the cake. Yep, that was September.
Man.
Football season is not going to be the same without Muff, bro. This
it's
sucks.
Not. They're talking about it. He's not calling in there to ask questions and give his opinion. That's going to be rough.
Yeah. And I wanted him to be here because Dallas going to win the Super Bowl this year, and I wanted him to be here to give me my props.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, sure they will.
That's just in him up right there. That's just in him up right there.
Sure they will.
Yeah. But I'm so happy we had an opportunity to share the 56 years he was on this earth. With, you know, and talking to him and becoming friends and sharing, you know, sharing talks and eats and drinks, you know. Made sure when it's been his birthday, made sure I get him a plate, you know. So
I used to drink Jack Daniels, he used to make sure I had my Jack. I must admit that.
Yeah, remember we went to his house and he had the Jack and I had the Absolute, and we hung out with him a little bit, had a couple of drinks. You know, watched the game with him a little bit, you know, boy, but
I just want to say this.
And to his family, happy for the contribution that they loan him to us every so often to call in, and the contribution that he helped to make Talking Heads the better station, the better show. Thank you. You know, thank you to family, and our prayers are with you. And on behalf of my family, prayers are with you, man.
Absolutely. Definitely in our prayers.
Definitely keeping Muff's family in our prayers, especially his son and his kids. And Pearlie and I going to reach out to you, young blood, and we're going to make sure you're good. All right? You got 2 uncles. You may not like who we pull for in sports, but you have to deal with us. That's just how it is. But we can make sure you straight, and we're doing it for Pops, because Pops was one of our boys, man, and we really appreciate Muff and love Muff. And Pearlie, I want to tell you again, thank you for being an awesome big brother. I'm an only child. Never had no siblings, but you have been. If I could pick a big brother, it would be you.
No problem, bro. Love you, man. Love you.
MJ,
No diddy.
I walked out of the Zoo nightclub in 2002. And I told all my friends at the Zoo and the workers, "Oh, you going to Sweet Lips of Sauce?" They said, "No. I going home to pray for my soulmate. I tired of these dead end heifers who I keep missing, who I keep hitting, and I'm tired of it." And sure enough, God sent me MJ. And I want you two to know no matter how much I love you, MJ. I would be nothing in this world without you. And I feel it's important that if you have people that are close to you that you love, tell them. Because I wish I could have told them of so many other things rather now than later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So know that I love you like a brother, Pearly. Much love. And MJ, you are my heart. You are my soul. You are my everything. And I love you. And tell the people who you love that you love them. Because you never know when it's their time.
Yeah, you never know. Because you never expected that.
Yeah. Yes.
We're gonna
Of course,
leave
you guys know I love you too. And to Muff's family again, my deepest condolences. And we will miss him. My God, we're gonna miss him.
Yes.
And for all of y'all who have said we want sound bites of Muff, Mr. Producer. And Mr. Producer, we know you going through it a lot. You and Muff used to talk. You a big part of the family. You know that. Mr. Producer said he got it. He can get the clips together and he can put something special together for Muff. So this week we will have something put together, but give us a little time to work on it. I ain't trying to just slap nothing together. We trying to do this justice for Muff.
Yeah, please. That'd be great. Thanks, Chris.
For MJ, for Pearly, buddy, Muff, we miss you. We gonna miss you. Your memory will live on. And if we ever see the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, I will mention your name over and repeatedly.
Oh yeah.
But MJ, know that I love you. Pearly, you're my brother. And
Yes,
all
bro.
the listeners and callers and sponsors that make this show go, we appreciate you all as well, too.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave you all with this in the memory of the late, great Muff Road. Remember, some bikes you got one muffler, some bikes you got two. So if you got two mufflers on your bike, I could be smoking for me and Muff. If you got one muffler, then you know that's Muff handling it for you as you go along. But we love you, Muff. We miss you. I cannot believe I heard these words today. I promise we'll be in better spirits tomorrow on Talking Heads, but this has been a blow. And again, Muff, to your family, to the Royal family, our love, our condolences, our prayers, our thoughts are with you. And Muff, we gonna miss you, bro. We gonna miss you. But I know one day we'll all see each other again. And I'm looking forward to talking sports with Muff when I see him. But I'm going to leave you with this one. For MJ, for Pearly, for Mr. Producer, this your boy Naughty. We appreciate you listening to Talking Heads. We love you. If you had a loss in your family, we are so sorry for your loss. And please put one up for Muff and his family.
Amen.
Wiz Khalifa, take us home.
And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing with you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond. And that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn. And that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when fam's everything I went through? You were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Hungry for some serious beef? Then get ready, because Burger King Nassau is bringing back the double quarter-pound king. That's a full half-pound of flame grilled beef, topped with melty cheese, tangy mustard, crunchy pickle, and fresh onions, served on a toasted sesame seed bun, classic style. Big flavor, big protein, big satisfaction. Get your double quarter-pound king meal with medium fries and a drink for only $10.35. More food, less money. Only at Burger King Nassau.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located